Good day, everyone. Today we're going to discuss our lab report about the experiment of fermentation using yeast and sugar. So, there are two types of cellular respiration, namely aerobic, which happens when oxygen is present, and anaerobic or fermentation, which occurs without the presence of oxygen. So in this experiment, we will going to demonstrate as simplest as possible the process of fermentation producing ethanol and carbon dioxide as byproduct using bacteria called yeast.
On this experiment, we are going to determine the chemical reaction that occurs during fermentation, observe the formation of carbon dioxide to the presence of yeast, sugar, and water. The materials are yeast, sucrose, lukewarm water, Bunsen burner, wire gauze, balloons, match, laboratory tripod, marker, beaker, glass stirring rod, measuring cups.
So these are the procedure. First, prepare the materials needed for the experiment and make sure you're wearing PPEs. Second, obtain 5 conical flasks and label them as A, B, C, D, and E. And using measuring cup, put 2.5 grams of yeast in flask B, C, and D. Next, add about 5 grams of sucrose to flask A, C, and E. Then add 10 grams of sucrose to flask D. After that, add 100 ml of lukewarm water to all conical flasks and make sure that they are equally added to all the flasks. Boil conical flask C to Bunsen burner for 5 minutes and using a balloon, close all the mouths of conical flask and leave for about 24 hours and observe what will happen. So in the result of experimentation, yeast and sugar is used in the concept of fermentation. And after 24 hours of incubation, the balloon covering flask A, B, C showed no sign of inflation because it has no yeast to flask A, no sugar in flask B, and in flask C, the yeast was eliminated during the process of heating. And flask D and E were blown, but flask D was bigger than the flask E because the amount of sucrose in the flask D doubled, and the more it has sucrose, the greater the amount of carbon dioxide or byproduct can produce.
We conclude that the rate of succession of this experiment is on how much sugar you put in the plus together with the yeast. In this experiment, the plus D has most of the amount of sugar. That is why the production of carbon dioxide is evident because the carbon dioxide was trapped inside the balloon. With the right procedure and amount of the ingredients, the experiment will be a successful one.